Don't give up on your dream of having a warm and cozy house just because you live in a boring gray rental that you can't paint. Welcome back to Armchair Rearranging, where you send in pictures of your spaces and I give you design advice for free. Today we're taking a look at Martha's open concept gray rental. She doesn't have any furniture in it right now, and she's wanting to make it feel warm and like her home. Because she's renting, she can't paint the walls, but I'm gonna show you some ways to make it feel warm anyway without picking up a paintbrush. Here's Martha's space when you walk in the front door. She's trying to figure out how to separate out a living room and a dining room and also make it feel more vintage, nostalgic feeling, but without painting anything. Martha did send me her Pinterest board, and as you can see, her ideal style is not quite lining up with what she has here, but don't worry because I have some ideas. The first problem that we have that we need to address is how to make the space feel more warm. The first thing that I would do is identify a color scheme to help you stay on track. If you're dealing with so much gray, I would stay away from cool tones like blues and blacks and focus instead on warm earth tones. So that's a lot of browns and beiges and creams. You can add in some rusts and greens for accent. This is another view of the same room, but this is how the previous tenants had it set up. So none of this furniture has stayed, and Martha's wondering if she should do something similar or go in a completely different direction. I don't mind the general layout that the previous tenants had, where the living room was towards the back and the dining room was towards the front. That makes a little bit more sense to me because the kitchen is right over here. I would designate each zone with rugs. The bigger the better here. You want it to feel luxurious and like you're using the space fully. I would stick with rugs that are kind of a brownish family. That's going to combat some of the gray. But rather than the rectangular dining table that the previous tenants had, I would go for something round or oval in the beginning to promote flow into the space. So it's not just going to be this block when you enter in. Then towards the living room area, I would either get a sectional or two couches. You could add a console on the back of this couch or a low bookshelf to delineate the areas a little bit. And then I would add like a round coffee table there to kind of anchor in the space. Martha was unsure about using the back of this couch to separate the space, but I would lean into that and use that to your advantage. From there, once the two areas are kind of set up, she could add a console or something over here and put a TV or art above it. And in that back corner, I would add in a piece of art that's similar in size to the window to balance out that negative space. This is just kind of like the general idea of what I would go for. Of course, add some bar stools over by the island. And then the living room area, there's room for side tables. Maybe you could add some sort of table right here with a lamp. Maybe you add in some chairs on the other side of the coffee table. You can kind of play around and see how it feels. But generally, I think this is a layout that will work well for the space and provide two separate living areas, but also make it feel cohesive and welcoming. So we have the layout, but everything is feeling a little bit boring. So how do we make this space feel more eclectic? I would encourage Martha to look into curtains that span the whole width of this wall, from this corner all the way to the entry. There are renter-friendly tracks that you can install on the ceiling. Maybe you need to fill in a few holes when you're done, but on the whole, it's not going to be as invasive as painting a whole space. Going with some sort of curtain that's like beige will really warm everything up and add a level of luxury that this space doesn't have. It will also serve as a layer of softness to all the harsh angles in this area. Another renter-friendly swap to make a space feel better is to get rid of the light fixtures that exist. So it's actually pretty easy to install new light fixtures. Go to YouTube, you'll find a million tutorials. These cage lights just scream boring builder grade. So we can add something that's more eclectic, that has some more texture. But swap out the pendants over the kitchen island for maybe some like pleated lampshades or something that's really cutesy and will add some texture. I would swap out the dining room light fixture, and if you wanted to make more of a statement, you could do the same fixture over the dining room and in the living room if you don't need the ceiling fan. If you need the ceiling fan, there are some options that are a little bit more interesting looking than what's there. But there are plenty of beautiful and affordable options that you could swap in, and when you move out, take them with you. Another way to make the space feel more eclectic is to be thoughtful about the type of furniture that you purchase. I would stay away from a lot of cookie cutter, big box furniture and spend some time sourcing vintage pieces on Facebook Marketplace. Go for wooden pieces of furniture that have some nicks in it and are a little bit rustic and like worn feeling. Go for cozy patterns and textures. This is where your color scheme is really going to come in handy as you're shopping for pieces and putting things together to make things feel cohesive, even though you're not buying one set all from the same store. And then finally, don't underestimate the details. Like, scatter bowls of fruit, put stacks of books everywhere, layer candles on top of things. Put a warm light on every surface that you possibly can. If you're going to be swapping out the ceiling fixtures anyway, see if you can add a dimmer to add in some more coziness. Add in throw pillows on the couch. Just make it feel like a cozy nest, because so many of these spaces, if they're gray and then they're decorated with just standard Target furniture, they're not going to have any level of individuality or coziness. Hopefully that was helpful and encouraging. And if you live in your own rental that you can't paint, focus on easy removable swaps. So that's lighting, that's adding window treatments that are easily taken down, that's adding rugs or interesting furniture, adding in art, adding in details of your personality, books. All these things are going to distract from the fact that you live in a builder grade house, and instead you're going to put your own stamp of individuality on it. If you'd like to submit your own space for me to look at, you can go to the link in my bio. I am testing out a new Google form. It might make it a little bit more streamlined for me. I'll take a look and see if I have any ideas. I am also offering a select number of spaces to do a private one-on-one design consult with me. So info on that is also in the form if that is something that you are interested in. Have a beautiful day.